What's up, guys? Christina here for Card Player TV for another edition of Strategy, and I'm with Bryan Devonshire. Bryan, thanks so much, and how's it going?
So far, so good. Can't really complain.
All right, well, today I wanted to talk about the terms underrepresenting and overrepresenting. For those who don't know what that is, can you kind of give a quick, brief explanation?
Anytime you do anything in a hand, you are representing a range of hands. So if you have a hand that doesn't really deserve to put a bunch of money in the pot, and you do, you're over-representing your hand. You're saying that I have a bigger hand than I actually have. Or if you have a hand that's really strong, but you play it really weak, you're underrepresenting your hand. So an example of a hand I underrepresented a couple levels ago, I had a Mike opened early. Steven, the guy, the final table guy, he called, and then I called, and I had king-queen, and it comes king-queen-10. And I just check-called all three streets, which is significantly underrepresenting my hand. But I did that also as a pot control defensive kind of play, you know. So because my hand looks weak, he's going to try to bluff me off the hand more, which he did. He ended up firing all three streets with two deuces.
Okay, and now on the river, I saw that hand. And by the way, we're filming this at the Legends of Poker main event. You could probably find that hand in an update somewhere. But I saw the river. The river was a super scary card, right? Is that right? It put four cards to a straight.
Yeah, it's king, queen, 10, like some middling card, and then a jack.
Okay, so since you underrepresented your hand so much, is that what made you call on the river?
Yeah, because my hand is so underrepresented. Like, you know, what Mike is thinking about that I have, what I actually have isn't really crossing his mind. So, you know, he thinks that he can blast me off the hand. Another scare card came. Like, I felt like he was barreling the flop in the turn, and, you know, fires again on the river. So, I mean, I didn't really think. I'm like, whatever. You know, he definitely doesn't think that I have what I have, so I got to call.
One thing I noticed is that if I underrepresent my hand, sometimes I get confused because my opponent is so sure that they have the best hand. So I almost have to remember how I've played the hand to make those calls on the river.
Right.
Is that kind of
well, yeah, and a lot of people will screw themselves up in that way. They'll underrep their hand, and then they'll get scared off the hand. Yeah. But I mean, yeah, it's just, I mean, spots like that when you're underrepping your hand and they start blasting away, you just click the never fold button, and you're like, whatever, okay, if you got me beat, you got me beat. If you don't, then cool, ship it.
Can we talk about a situation in which maybe over-representing your hand might be a good idea?
Sure. The flop comes ace 7-3, and you're out of position, and they were the pre-flop raiser, and I checked, and they bet, and we have queen jack, and we raise.
Okay.
Pretty simple. It's just a fancy term for a bluff, basically.
Okay. Is there now, when you were talking about the hand you played here against Daniel Negreanu, when you flopped a boat, and
that's a good example too.
And you said that you wanted to overrepresent your hand. Can you explain that hand and kind of why you decided to do that?
Yeah, I flopped a boat and check raised him to make it look weak. I wanted him to read it as if I was over-representing my hand, as if I was trying to make my hand look like a boat or a 7, you know, top trips in that spot. Whereas there's also some draws in my range, and there's also a lot of air in my range. So I wanted to make it look like, you know, like I was trying to convince him that I had, you know, a boat, when in fact I actually didn't have a boat, but I actually had the boat. So I got him to call with an underpair, you know, and it worked out pretty well. So
this is a case of kind of strategic leveling with the over-representing. So to pull that move, you got to do it against a really thinking player.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely very crucial what level your opponent is on and how they will interpret your bets and your actions, you know. If someone's going to realize that you're going to blast away with the nuts, you know, like I probably wouldn't have done the same thing with quads there. I might have just like led out with quads. Like I'll do that a lot too, you know, because I'm like, wait, they're never going to bet quads there. Right. So like, you know, so like that's actually kind of underrepresenting your hand, because by betting there, like people just assume that you're always going to slow play like a huge hand like that. Right. So by betting, you're making your hand look weaker than it actually is.
Okay, well, thank you so much.
Sure.
Christina with Bryan Devonshire for Card Player TV.